What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. I am Wayno. If this is your first time here, I hope that you stay. If you like what it is that I do, hit that sub button, run up them likes. Today we talking about a specific law in the 48 Laws of Power that I feel has been the foundation of what Gunna's been doing for the past time that he's been home. Have y'all read the 48 Laws of Power? If you have, then you understand something about that book. That book is about manipulation. Now, the thing about manipulation is it could be used for good and for evil. More people use that shit for evil than they do for good, but it could be used either way. This law that I'm talking about regarding, Gunna is win through your actions, never through argument. Win through your actions, never through argument. No Umar. Nah, but it says, any momentary triumph you think you have gained through an argument is really Pyrrhic victory. The resentment and ill will you stir up is stronger and lasts longer than any momentary change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions. Without saying the word, demonstrate, do not explicate. So when I seen that word Pyrrhic, right, I was like, the hell is that? I never heard that word before. So we looked it up, and Pyrrhic, specifically a Pyrrhic victory, is a win that comes at such a devastating cost that it is to a loss, often leaving the victor weakened or unable to achieve their ultimate goals. The term originates from King Pyrrhus of Epirus, whose costly military successes against the Romans ultimately ruined his campaign and left him unable to replace his losses while the Romans could. I ain't gonna front, man. A lot of people don't like talking about history and all of that, but history defines so many things that go on currently. You know how they say history repeats itself. Well, winning through actions and not through argument is something that Gunna has done throughout this whole time. When he came home, people was wondering, is he signed to YSL? And you could honestly say, regardless to any opinions that people might have had of him, he still was talking about it in such a way that you would have thought things was all good. Now, we watched the interview with Big Bank and Thug a bunch of times. It's 1,000 breakdowns of it. And Thug keeps reiterating that Gunna didn't pull up on his moms. He didn't give his moms money. He kept talking about all of these things regarding money, money, money. Now, I'm pretty sure while, a lot of these artists, they portray to be like super duper duper rich and they live high level lifestyles, and being away in prison or jail for that matter, being away in jail could deplete a lot of that lifestyle and your money. Who's to say if Gunna even had the money that Thug thought he had at the time? But guess what? Gunna is winning through his actions, not through argument. See, I think the worst thing he could possibly do currently is try to fight the narrative that's going on when it comes to Thug's interviews or any things that Thug is going through. I mean, he could step back, and that's what he's done. He's been stepping back and just letting shit happen on its own, right? But Gunna just recently held a private screening for his documentary he has coming, and it was a lot of people in attendance, specifically Big Bank, who just interviewed Thug. And let's just watch a clip of him speaking about it.
What's up, everybody? All right. First and foremost, thank y'all for being here. I'm really glad that y'all are here. I know it's real. I know it's family, it's friends, real support here. This documentary is personal.
Well, that's the only clip I could actually find. But Gunna has officially also entered the top 25 longest charting rappers ever on Billboard, with over 900 weeks on the charts and counting. Now, listen, this is not a theory. We all know how streets and street credibility has helped artists. 50 Cent is an artist who ran the world because of his street credibility. Somebody who went through a traumatic incident where his life was almost taken, you know what I'm saying? Seemed like Superman, right? He seemed like Superman at the time. Cameron, you know what I mean? He's another one that had an attempt on his life. And there's tons of artists who've gone through these types of things. And at those times, 20-something years ago, the way the climate of music worked was controversy sells, controversy sells, controversy sells, right? But it depends upon what's attached to that controversy. Because like I spoke about a Cameron, a 50 Cent, or any other rapper you could think of, Sean going to prison for 10 years, right? How much does it actually help you? Now, you can honestly, you know what I'm saying, today, you can go through certain tragedies and be able to bounce back through them. But you have to bounce back with your story being told. I think that's one of the biggest things that people are having the shift with, where they just tired of the stories of trauma, right? They tired of the whole gangster shit. Because guess what? When all we could do is read about it, or watch a documentary or watch whatever, there wasn't enough voices for the people. If you felt the way, you had to write a letter. You had to put a lot of effort. You had to write a letter, you know what I'm saying? Go buy you a stamp and mail it to a publication like a Complex or a Source or a Double XL, hoping that somebody will open this up and read what you have to say so that they could see your grievances or however you felt. Now it's just the comment section. That's the thing. A lot of shit go down in the comment section, and people are letting their voices be heard. So you don't have to wait for months to get a reaction. How people feel about things is instant, is instant, is instant. And the thing about it is, on one hand, it's good, but it's hurtful as well. Because when you get all of these different mixed emotions, artists read into these things and they don't know which way they should possibly go. I think that's one of the reasons why Gunna really strayed away from all of the stuff that was being put in front of him, right? I mean, there's this clip right now with Thug going viral because of this.
Fuck that, nigga. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, Whoopty DOO. We go to prison, nigga. And we fight to get out this bitch. If we beat these folk, Whoopty DOO. We beat them. We go forward.
And I think that the most troubling thing for the average consumer who's not from the hood or not from the streets or partakes in that life is, if you didn't know nothing, I mean, if you know absolutely nothing about the streets, now I get the point that he's trying to make, whether it makes sense or not. I understand what he's trying to say, right? Because if you're in the streets, you should be accountable for your actions or whatever, right? Like, I get the point that Thug is trying to make, but the general consumer of music and hip hop culture don't give a fuck about none of that. You know how crazy it sounds for a person who doesn't commit crimes or doesn't live in a legal life to hear somebody say, well, you're not a gang, but if you go to jail for the rest of your life, whoop-de-doo. Now, people think it's funny, right? I don't find the shit funny because there's nothing funny about the situation in its entirety. Of course, I get the memes. I'm not going to sit here and be a party pooper and act like I don't understand meme culture and all of that. I get it. I understand it. I understand why it's moving. But at the same time, listen to that comment. If we go to jail for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo. We just sit from behind a wall and try to figure it out and fight back. So for the person who can't empathize with a Gunna or see why he took a plea deal or anything, they sitting here saying, man, like, yeah, bro, if you were in the streets, that's what you supposed to do that. Keep in mind that most of the people, I'll say majority of people that are in prison, right, that come from poverty, are there for crimes due to poverty. It's a very small percentage of people that's in there for selling a bunch of drugs that was making millions or even billions of dollars. A lot of criminals that come from gangs, that come from the hood, it's a lot of petty crimes. That's what jail is made up of. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is also, when you look at Gunna and just his transformation, went through actions, not through argument. Look at how he's changed his appearance. You know what I'm saying? From being, it was one point in time, man, where people was killing. I'm talking about, man, anything Gunna did. First of all, I know, even back then, I never thought he could dress. You know what I'm saying? There was memes going on about him. Rihanna actually wore one of his outfits as a costume. So it seemed like Gunna was like this running joke, right, for a bit when it came to fashion and all that other shit. But when he came home, you know what I'm saying? When he came home, he got his weight together. Even the point of him saying, yo, all of this because of a girl and all that. Listen, I'm gonna keep it 100, man. The points that Thug makes is him trying to win through argument, not through action. You know what I'm saying? What happens is that it seems as if when he went to jail, excuse me, because you know how y'all get when somebody slip up and say something and don't correct themselves. But when he went to jail, is that he never learned anything, right? And that's the whole fact of the matter. I mean, honestly, who could even forget these moments right here?
Look at Gunna the rat. Check him out. I said, look at Gunna. No, what you said before that? Whatever I wanted to say, brother. Nah, why you can't repeat it? I just want you to repeat. Check him out. I just want you to repeat. So you can look for Rich, I do something. I just want you to repeat. So I can sue the hell out of y'all. Look at him, sure. Look.
Gunna want it, man. You can't be in the city doing all that ratting and shit. Rat ass nigga.
What?
And that's most of the people that's, arguing against the logic of the situation in its entirety. People who do silly, stupid shit like that pull out their phones and say something. Now, if you really wanted to say something or you really felt the way, you wouldn't be doing it on your phone. But that's what society is turned into. It's turned into a bunch of niggas with phones and video just so that they could say they did it. Because I'm pretty sure, you find either one of these dudes who said what they said. I'm pretty sure that these niggas is either working a job or not. Or they doing whatever it is that they doing. Now, Gunna also, and this is a article from Rolling Stone, you know what I'm saying? And it says, Gunna, as he stays above rap drama, Gunna's 5K in Brooklyn felt like a literal victory lap. So this is the thing. You could sit here and try to fight the internet like everybody, thinks they can, the comment sections or the people that say negative things to you and thinking that you can respond to every single person that does. You can't. It's gonna exhaust you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna expend yourself spending so much energy getting angry. And anger is an easy thing to do, man. You're gonna expend so much time being angry, trying to fight people other than just living your life, because what else can you do but live your life? Like, I seen a brother recently and he said something and it got me to thinking, right? He said, man, dudes who go to prison, they talk all of this about how, what was it he said? He said they talk so much about like the time they did in prison and how hard it was and you know what I mean, how people couldn't do this and people couldn't do that. And he was like, man, try living out in the free world and having responsibility and all of that. And now listen, please don't start with the people who are in prison who take care of their families who are at home. I understand that, but that is also a very, very small percentage of people. Most people cannot. A lot of people that was getting a lot of money, you sending them money while they in jail because they don't have nothing. Keep in mind, man, like look up the 13th Amendment. You know what I mean? Like prison is slavery. And yes, for people who commit criminal acts against people, that's what they earn. So we not shooting nobody no bail about themselves going into prison and saying, oh, they deserve better. Everybody who goes to prison is not Malcolm X. You feel me? But, there's so many people who don't understand how difficult it is to just live your life in the free world, how difficult it is to finish school. You know what I'm saying? I've seen so many people try to shun kids, shit on kids from the time I was younger, even to getting older, like being smart is just this dumb thing, or being smart is being a square. That shit is stupid. Any of y'all talking that somebody's a square shit, y'all, listen, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something. I don't think that is nothing to brag about coming from the streets. Nothing. Actually, having a life, living a life in the streets, doing shit so that you could pay your bills illegally, whatever, is actually embarrassing when you're trying to live a legit life. You know what I'm saying? But it is a part of your story. Tupac said it's hard to be legit and still pay your rent. And that shit is no joke. That's why so many people fall to the easy temptations of the streets. Like, it's very, very low-hanging fruit to be able to commit a crime to put yourself in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But I want to read some of these keys of power from out the 48 Laws of Power so that you can more understand about this entire situation with Gunna. It says, in the realm of power, you must learn to judge your moves by their long-term effects on other people. The problem in trying to prove a point or gain a victory through argument is that in the end, you can never be certain how it affects the people you're arguing with. How many of y'all go through that shit? You feel me? It says, they may appear to agree with you politely, but inside they may resent you. Or perhaps something you said inadvertently even offended them. Words have that insidious ability to be interpreted according to the other person's mood and insecurities. Y'all ain't never bought this book, buy this book. But there is something that it says in the book that if you take it literal, it can drive you mad, right? But it says, even the best argument has no solid foundation. For we all have come to distrust the slippery nature of words. And days after agreeing with someone, we often revert to our old opinion out of sheer habit. Understand this, words are a dime a dozen. Everyone knows that in the heat of an argument, we will say anything to support our cause. We will quote the Bible, refer to unverifiable statistics, who can be persuaded by bags of air like that. Action and demonstration, excuse me, give me 1 second because I got to go to the next page. Action and demonstration are much more powerful and meaningful. There you have it, y'all. Don't waste your time sitting around with petty arguments about who got more money, or who's doing better than the other person, what this person did versus what the other person did, trying to fight one another over shit that you have no facts on, making stuff up just to support your theories, making stuff up to just legitimize however you feel instead of just saying, that's just how I feel. Learn how to win through your actions and never through argument. This is how I do it myself. For the ones that rock with me, you know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually you will. I catch you on the next one. Peace.